Welcome to Closed Door. I am Maria Micha, a clinical psychologist, hypnotherapist, and shamanic practitioner. For nearly 3 decades, I've had the privilege of sitting with people during the most vulnerable moments of their lives. Their struggles, emotional and mental, they're happening behind closed doors. I help them bring the subconscious to conscious and remove that veil that keeps them away from their own authentic truth. My mission is simple: to heal the world one person at a time. By bringing together the science of clinical psychology and intuitive wisdom, I hope to help you peek through the veil of what is unknown to you, what lies in your subconscious mind. I aspire to help you discover what is happening behind your own closed door. In this podcast, I will help you uncover your subconscious beliefs that shape your life and your experiences. And most importantly, I want to aspire you to turn your pain into your own personal power, to understand that difficulties and challenges are coming in our lives because the universe is trying to nudge us to take another path that is closer to what we truly deserve and who we aspire to be. Behind every closed door, there is a story waiting to be told, understood, and alchemized into your unique power. Hello, welcome to Closed Door. Today I have this lovely, gorgeous lady with me, Renee, that I call a friend. We're fresh friends.
Oh my gosh.
We have dwelled very deep into our friendship and support for each other. And I'm very honored that she made time for me today on Easter Sunday of all days. She let go of the family obligations and she's here to share her wisdom and her story with us. Welcome, Renee. Sorry, welcome, Michelle.
Oh, yes, I go by both. I go by Michelle Renee. Yes, absolutely. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so glad that you asked me to come onto your podcast today.
Of course, how could I not?
Of course.
Let's introduce you to the audience. Michelle has had an amazing trajectory. She's a self-made woman. And she's still in the process of becoming, because she keeps adding more and more adventures and business endeavors in her life. So she's a journalist and she does red carpets, interviews people with a lot of love, care, interest, talent, and a lot of compassion, which is what really attracted me to her when she interviewed me in the summer on a red carpet. And now she's a producer.
Yes.
Great news. Yes. She has landed this amazing job at Core TV and she's doing exceptionally well. She's also an actor. She was one of the episodes, but she has some even greater news to share with us later about a new business deal. She's a mother of 2 lovely kids. Her daughter is 20 years old?
25.
25! Oh my God.
I know.
Unbelievable. She had her when she was 13, right? Of course. And your daughter is finishing her bachelor's.
Her master's degree.
Her master's.
Yes, she's finishing her master's at Yale School of Architecture. I'm so very, very proud of her.
And you should be.
Yes. You know how there's some people who know what they want early? She's one of those people, and I just support her completely.
Amazing. You've done so well as a mother. You've raised 2 kids and they're doing exceptionally well. Your daughter is at an age to show how well your parenting has affected her, and she has a very, very clear path in life. I've never met her, but I hear that she's a very well-rounded young lady with a lot of love and ambition in her soul and her mind, which is wonderful. And you also have a 13-year-old son?
Yes,
soon
to be 13-year-old son who is also equally amazing, brilliant, sweet, kind, the type of son that anyone would want. Like, he'll lights up any room. He's got this smile that lights up a room. And I adore both of them. I am so blessed to have such amazing children. Like, this is what I wanted. I had manifested this as a child, that I would have a heart family. There was these dolls of the heart family, and it was a little girl and a little boy, and that's all I wanted.
Oh my God. How old were you when you had this vision of a heart family?
Only about 7. Yeah, about 7 years old.
So you're a manifestor.
I am.
And this show is all about manifesting and helping people learn from our experiences, and especially individuals who are going through a difficult time or people who are lacking resources. But to understand that once you have a vision and a very strong emotion and faith in your heart and you don't let go, dreams will come true. And one day you're going to wake up in the scene being in the dream that you have painstakingly grown and created and developed. However, hard work is always part of the deal. It takes effort and it takes honing your skills and understanding your talents and working on them. Then finding the right people, networking, letting go of people who are not great agents, and finding better people to support your dreams and create the life that you want.
I can't agree more. Absolutely.
Well, you are a manifestation of your manifestation. Here you are, your heart family and everything else that you have created in your life.
I also feel like I've manifested really beautiful friendships with wonderful people like yourself who bring me so much joy and inspiration, and I just I can't say how much I feel so good about it. I'm so happy and full of joy to have you as a friend and many of my other friends, because they just are, we all support each other. We make each other laugh. Like, we share joy. And if we're having a hard time, we're able to talk it out together and just be that support that we all need, because we all need, sometimes we just all need an ear to listen, a hug, just someone to laugh with, cry with.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's a real friendship.
It is. And hugs have so much energy. We don't realize how much energy we exchange, the support we give to others, the care and the empowerment of the soul when a hug is true and real. And mothers, we're gifted with beautiful hugs from our kids. But as our kids are growing older, and I mean, teenage boys, they're not very much into hugs. I go, oh my God, you kiss me, let me rub it away. You want a hug? Go Grinch, but okay, let's have one. And then when they're growing up and they're not so much into hugs, we have each other and we carry each other through life. Lovely.
Such a beautiful thing.
It is. That's what life is about. It's about touching each other's lives and being there, celebrating the successes and being there for the challenging moments, learning the lesson and then moving forward again. Lovely.
So many lessons that we learn. Like they say, everyone you meet is either a blessing or a lesson, but you're blessed either way. You're blessed if you're learning something from them, and you're blessed if they're just a blessing and they're so great and you're going to keep them in your life.
Or then they're for a season, but the lesson is for life. You have learned something invaluable. So we should be embracing everything that comes our way, but we need to know when to say no to something that turns difficult, painful, or abusive, and just keep the lesson and wish them well on their way back to their own lives far away from us.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to tell us about your new business idea? I'm so excited about that.
Well, I have to say, this is something that has been in the works in my mind for so long. I'm a fashionista at heart.
We can tell.
From the beginning. I mean, there was a picture I saw of myself as a toddler, and I'm sitting on my parents' bed and I'm posing, like in my cute little dress, my little frilly dress, and I'm posing. Like I knew, like, I liked what I was wearing and I wanted to pose, and that is who I am, and fashion is who I am. And my new venture is becoming a fashion designer. I have a new collection that I'm designing, and it's a luxury sleepwear collection called Luxtelle. And it is it's for men, women, and children.
The whole family.
Yes, the whole family. Because I believe the whole family deserves to sleep in luxury and comfort. And sleeping is such an important thing. We need sleep to be successful, to be
restore repair. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And why not sleep in something that makes you feel so good? It helps you to sleep better because you're so comfortable. And not only will the sleepwear be something that you can wear to bed, but some of the pieces are pieces that would dual as like loungewear that you could wear out, like if you're going shopping or something. And you wouldn't feel like, oh, she's wearing pajamas to the airport.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love
Yes.
that. When an article of clothing can double as loungewear and sleepwear, this is amazing. It is so easy, and the comfort that you feel in your body will allow your soul and your mind to express itself better. When we're wearing very tight clothes or uncomfortable clothes, you're not yourself. You're trying to be your clothes and
Right.
survive your clothes. But when you're in comfort, then you're in the flow and the best of you always comes out. But you know what else I love about your new line? I can envision the whole family wearing sleepwear with the same pattern.
Yes.
And the unity that that brings, and how they all feel part of one, and then they can dream together, they can sleep at the same time. There's this sharing, the sharing of energy that sometimes we don't pay a lot of attention to. So thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's lovely. I'm looking forward to buying my first article
Oh my
from your
God. I
collection.
can't wait for you to wear one of my pieces or many of the pieces. I believe you will enjoy them. They're going to be beautiful prints. Obviously, I'm looking at the fabrics would be very soft, bamboo, mulberry silk.
Oh,
Yes.
So I want both the bamboo and the mulberry silk.
We will make
Silk
sure you
is
have
so
both.
good. Yes. You feel expensive when you're wearing silk.
You feel so expensive.
And so comfortable. It's amazing. So thank you for all that. And when you bring out your first articles, please let's introduce them to our audience and explain where they can find them, promote them for the people to feel united with your family, but also to feel good in your own skin. Great.
Yeah.
Are you ready to dive
Let's
into your life?
Yeah.
What has brought you to this moment?
What has brought me here? So many things have brought me here. So I'll give you a little brief background. I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest. My family moved to Los Angeles area in the late 80s. I was I was a kid. I was going to junior high school, and it was a very pivotal time, a scary time. I had being of the ethnicity that I am, like my family, we were the only Black family in the whole community that I lived in the Pacific Northwest. This was in Washington State. And it was beautiful, but there were some times that were challenging. We dealt with a little bit of racism. I dealt with it very young, and I didn't know, it was a deep level of discomfort and fear and wanting to fit in, but also being proud of who I was. Like, I never wanted to be somebody else. I always wanted to be me, but I wanted to be accepted. And sometimes I was, and sometimes I wasn't. It was challenging when I wasn't. And
that is very tough for a young kid.
And then moving to Los Angeles, where there was a lot of people that looked like me within my culture, but finding that I dealt with issues of being accepted there, because coming from a place where I was the only Black child in my school to a school that was full of children of all different cultures, I wasn't special or anything anymore, but I was different. I was teased a lot. I dealt with some deep bullying when I moved to Los Angeles. Bullying within my culture, and it's different. There's a lot of colorism in Black American culture that stems from slavery, but it's not just Black American culture. But I can speak to that because that's the culture that I grew up in. But yes, being considered light-skinned and having long hair was a big deal. I didn't think it was a big deal. They called it, my hair was considered good hair, and there were young girls that were jealous of me because of my skin tone and my hair texture. And of course, in Washington State, I was just Black. Like, nobody cared. Like, they said, "Oh, you're pretty," but it wasn't about my skin color or my hair texture. It wasn't about that. But with people within my culture made a big deal out of it. And I dealt with, young girls wanting to beat me up. I never got into any fights. I was thankful.
God.
But it was
To
scary.
beat you up. Because
Yes,
they were
always,
jealous
and
of
they were
your
always
circle.
big girls, big girls that, they had issues. Some of them were very obese, and I soon found out that the girls that were bullying me, and I didn't know this about them, but they were dealing with child abuse, and sexual abuse in their home, and they were lashing out on me because they knew, they could see it in my spirit that I wasn't dealing with that. I was happy and, just wanting to have fun, but they were dealing with things that were so deep, and I didn't know that what they were dealing with. I just didn't know why they were being mean to me.
It must be very difficult to be looked down upon when you're living in Washington by a different group of people. And when we're so young, we don't understand why we're separate from them, why we're receiving this discontent from them. But at least at some point in our lives, understand that at least it's a different group. So we somehow rationalize that they don't get us because they're different.
Right.
But then to move across the country and to find that your people, the people who are supposed to support you and stand by you, that they're bullying you for reasons that had never crossed your mind. Because as you said, in Washington, you were the black kid, and some loved you and some saw you as beautiful, and some would probably make some very hurtful remarks. But our own people to dissect us, to say you belong in this category of skin color and this category of hair, and it's beautiful, we like it, but now we're going to beat you up because we're jealous of you.
Right.
That is another level of abuse, because we do expect that our own tribe is going to support us, and together we're going to hold hands and create miracles. How old were you when that
was happening? When I was about between the ages of 12 and 14.
Oh,
and it kind of tapered off at high school. I think people got used to me, and I was very, very fortunate to have a cousin who is 9 months older than me, and she was my sister and my cousin in one, and we went to school together, and she grew up with all these kids, and she was the one who told me what was really going on with them, and she would tell them, hey, don't mess with my cousin, like she would always stick up for me. She's, she knew them and they didn't mess with her. So they were like, okay, well, if, she's saying don't mess with her, I guess we won't mess with her. So she kind of was my protector, even though it's not like, she was big or anything. We both were, relatively small, but again, she grew up with all of those children, and they didn't see her as any type of threat, but they respected her more than they respected me.
Well, you were the new kid on the block.
I was the new kid on the block.
And you were also the cute one, so they had a lot of reasons to be jealous. And unfortunately, what we see again and again is that hurt people will bring pain to other people. Unfortunately, instead of processing our own pain, we just feel better by causing pain to others, but we don't understand that we're just in a repetitive cycle of receiving pain, giving pain, and there is no interruption. So we can take another path. Yet again, when we are 12, 14, we need to be enlightened or spiritual in somehow, in some way to understand that. How did that shape you to become the person you're today? So if you were to go back to young Michelle, who's just, posing on the bed, knowing how beautiful her frills are and how gorgeous she is on her parents' bed, or being bullied because you're beautiful, or being bullied because you are different in Washington. How do you feel that those seeds of I'm wonderful, because I hear that, and the seeds that, oh my God, they want to hurt me, or oh my God, I'm not like everyone else, and instead of being celebrated for that, now they're telling me I need to feel bad about myself. But how have all those messages strengthened you to become the person you are today?
I would say that those messages told me to embrace my uniqueness, to say, you know what? Okay, I am different. I will accept that I am not the same as you or you or you. I'm myself. I'm happy with who I am. I'm a kind person. I'm a loving person. I'm fun. I am brilliant. Like I love to learn, and I I think that that's exactly what I did. I just embraced being unique and not letting my differences from others make me feel like I was less than.
That's wonderful. Such a beautiful lesson and a deep lesson at a very young age that you had to learn and embrace. And one thing I can say about you, you are unique. You are. And, Michelle enters the room and everyone knows Michelle is there. She has that aura around her and she doesn't have to say much. She never brags. She never talks about herself in a way that alleviates her. But then because she doesn't, we do. The rest of us, we're always saying the nicest things about what she does and who she is. And it's such a joy to be around you. Last Sunday, we had a barbecue here because I was celebrating my 5 verticals that are live with all the actors who helped me. And when Michelle came, the laughter, that belly laughter that you cannot control was present on everyone's minds and everyone's bodies. And you brought so much joy to all of us. And I think that this is one of your greatest gifts. You are relatable, you are compassionate, you see people, but you also know who you are. And then there is no way that someone else is not going to see you. And I feel that this is your winning recipe.
I have to agree with you 100% because if you asked me this many years ago, I may have not seen that because I was still trying to figure out who I was, but I realized that that is who I am and I'm okay with it. I'm 100% fine with it. Like,
Why wouldn't you?
me. Yeah.
And I think that you have a nice way of using your talents, your skills, and your true power in commanding the life that you want. And you have definitely manifested a life that is very much in congruence with where you always wanted to be. And as you said, you were born a fashionista. You knew that at 5, being very proud of your freely dress. And now look at you. You are creating your own fashion line. Manifestation is so prevalent in people who believe in themselves.
Yes.
And you hear people with big successful stories and they will tell you, oh, no, I knew this since I was young. I was 10 and I was dreaming of the life that I have today. And somehow I walked into this life. What would you say were the message that you received from your environment, whether it was your family or whether it was your school? Like if you could laser focus and identify them, whether they were painful or whether they were encouraging or inspirational, that have actually helped you to put you on a springboard that has brought you to the here and now.
Well, I have to say that my parents are very, very huge supporters of me. Like they are my big cheerleaders. Even when they're tough on me, and they're tough. My parents were tough, very strict. They had very high standards and expectations of who they wanted me to be and how I was supposed to carry myself. And if I disappointed them, I would feel it very strongly. I would say that was my springboard, having very supportive parents, a strong father, a very, very strong, both very brilliant people who wanted the best. And they saw me and they were like, that's my girl. Like, you're gonna do it. Like, my mom told me she wanted me to be a doctor. And I knew.
She wanted to be an actor?
She wanted to be a doctor.
A doctor.
And I told her, I was like, Mom, math is not my best subject. I don't think I'm going to be a doctor, but, I'm probably going to do something else. And my dad was fine. Like, he never really pushed a type of career, but he just wanted me to be excellent. Good grades, just really always be a lifelong learner. Both of my parents are educators. They wanted me to be a lifelong learner. They would quiz me constantly. They still do. They quiz me on music. They quiz me on food. They quiz me on geography, all kinds of things.
Oh, God. You go home and it's one test after the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No relaxing. It's just be ready for questions. Like,
Okay, I'm guessing in a very loving way,
In a
right?
very loving, fun
it's
way.
educational
Yes.
and fun.
Mhm.
Nice. And you think that the way they stimulated ambition in you and the
Yes.
way they believed in you has actually been a torch that you've been carrying with you. And this torch has brought you to this moment. And now, you are enlightened and you're shiny and you are in your best self to this point, because I know you will do more and greater things.
Thank you.
And the last year has been such a revelation for you, but all the plans and all the work that you had done has come to true fruition.
Yes.
And you're stepping into your dream. Beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like now I don't take no for an answer. Like if I try to find a way. If someone says no, okay, no today, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be a no tomorrow. Like
Exactly.
let's figure out a way to like make this happen. Like I'm not a defeatist. I'm always like, let's find another way. Let's figure it out. Let's not. I feel like this is a good idea, and I'm gonna go with it. And let me find a way to make it happen.
And sometimes the no is not a rejection, it's just the way the universe is nudging us down another path.
Yes.
Because the other path is going to be more productive for us and maybe more productive for the people that we need in order to manifest our dream. And when we get defeated, and I know that this is not you, but when we get defeated, it's as if life is trying to open a path and we're just closing the door. And with the closing the door, the dream goes down. So dreams get shattered, disappointment sets in, and the feeling of I cannot get what I want.
Right.
And this is when people start getting depressed, sad, they lose their faith in life, they lose their faith in themselves or others. But you have done the opposite. Every time there's a no, you're seeing it as a challenge.
Or an opportunity. So, okay, it's a no for you today, but what can I do differently to make this a yes? Or if it's rejection, I will accept it. If it's full on rejection, then I feel like maybe that's protection. And it's going to give, there's another something even better for me to do. So don't worry about that. Okay, move on. It's okay to move on. Let that go. I mean, take a moment. Like, of course, sometimes it's like, oh, I wanted that, but it wasn't for me. Something else was better and more aligned with me. So I need to accept the better option.
It's beautiful the way you say it, because life, universe, our spiritual guides will protect us for something that is not as good as where we can go, or something that might be eventually harmful for us. I remember being, I think I was 30. I asked for a divorce from my ex-husband when I was 29. And I was sort of getting my life together and I was ready to date, and someone introduced me to this guy, and I was crazy about Asia. I wanted to go to Asia, had never gone to Asia. I ended up living in Asia for 13 years in Singapore, and I loved the experience just before I moved to Los Angeles. And I was introduced to this guy. He was not all that impressive, but this woman had positioned him so nicely. And then this guy, we're going out, and we went out once or twice. He was very distant, very, very indifferent, and it went nowhere. And then I found out from her that his mother did not like me because I was divorced. So this was her little prince, and he should not be starting his life with a divorced woman. And it was because it was my first attempt after the divorce. It was a little bit painful. It felt like a rejection. And then this guy married another wonderful lady. They had twins. And then he started drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. He became morbidly obese. He reached a point, he was so depressed, he gambled his business away. So now they didn't have a home. Their home was taken away. And I never met his new wife, because by the time they were married, I was already in Asia. But when I heard that story, because it had left me with my first attempt after my divorce to restart my life was really bad. But then I was, thank you God, thank you universe, thank you for that redirection through rejection, because that would have been very, very difficult to endure. So yes, I couldn't agree more. Rejection sometimes is redirection.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you tell the 5-year-old Michelle
Mm-hmm.
who is sitting on her parents' bed, being very happy with herself, knowing how beautiful she is, with everything you have been through?
Mm-hmm.
You got married, you have 2 kids, you build up your career from scratch by yourself, and you've done a wonderful job, and now you're a producer. It's a dream job, and your kids are doing so well. What would you tell her? Because when we're young, we're happy, but also we're worried. We're thinking about the future. We
Yes.
want so much. What would you go back and tell her?
I would go back and tell little Michelle Renee to always remember to keep that smile on her face and to understand that sometimes life becomes challenging. Sometimes life is not always easy, but you have it in you to succeed. Remember, you always have it in you to succeed. Whatever it is that you really, really want to do, you can do it. You can.
Mhm.
I would just give her that
The reassurance.
reassurance.
I think that somehow she had it, but it's good that you would go back and reaffirm. Look, I know
Yes.
I've been there. I've done the trajectory.
Yes.
I've done the life that you dream of. And to the 12 and 14-year-old that is getting a little bit bullied, she's having a difficult time because she's shiny and
Mhm.
beautiful, what would you?
I would tell her, remember, this is just a short period of time. This is going to change. This light switch is going to, right now it seems like it's off, but it's going to turn on. You know, when you get to high school, you're going to really see that you're shining. All those things you're going through right now, it's just a short time. And of course, I would probably tell her, those young girls who are making fun of you, they're going through things that you would never, ever wish upon anyone.
So compassion.
Have compassion for them, even though they're being mean. Just know that they're acting out of a place of pain. They're dealing with deep pain and they don't know what to do.
And they're throwing it on you because you seem to have none, and that is very foreign for them, right? And sometimes when we're going through something, instead of asking people for help, like, how can you be so happy, how can you maintain your joy, and this is what is happening in my life, could you please give me a helping hand? Sometimes instead of asking for that, we're just trying to bring people down, and I think that this is one of the social traits that we all experience currently in society. Instead of giving each other a helping hand and a leg up, when we're not well, some of us will try to make sure that no one else is well. And we don't understand that we are all living in this world. We're all sharing this world, and we're sharing the collective subconscious mind. So if my friend is joyful, if my neighbor is joyful, that joy, whether I realize or not, spiritually and energetically is going to reach me. And when I exist in a happy, content, empowering environment, I will get the strength from them and the same empowerment. If you could give the world, the audience, 2, 3 sentences from that experience and what they could have done differently and how we can strengthen our societies and our families, what would that be?
Well, of course, I would say to look within and remember when we're dealing with challenging situations, challenging people. Think about, you don't know what they're going through. They might be acting a certain way because they don't know how to express what's really going on, and it usually doesn't have anything to do with you. It really has to do with them. But when you remember that it has to do with what's going on the inside, you can empower yourself and say, okay, well, they might be going through something. How can I be a good person, you know, by not internalizing this the way that they're treating me? Don't internalize it. Maybe you need to ask them a question. Are you doing okay? If they don't want to talk about it, if you have to avoid them, you have to avoid them. But maybe there might be a time where they open up to you and tell you what's really going on,
Exactly. And instead of a relationship based on rivalry and fear and pain, we can create a relationship of trust and care and support. And when we help others understand their pain and soothe their pain, that is the best glue to create a friendship and a bond forever. And we also need to know that not every person who's in pain will be willing to take our help and support, but at least they will know we're not an enemy. We're not
Yes.
there to hurt them further from what life or someone in their life has already hurt them. And that would be such a nice world when we understand that behind difficult, painful, hurtful behavior is usually a ton of pain that people cannot manage.
Right.
I would love for the schooling system to put this in their curriculum to just tell kids, instead of saying, no, you cannot bully others, to explain why bullying is happening and to treat the kids that are getting bullied, of course, support them emotionally, but also to create a bridge between the bullies and the bullied to understand their pain.
Right.
And when I have done it as a therapist, sometimes I have little clients who are getting bullied.
Yeah.
And I do extend an invitation to the bully to come to my therapy room. And you would be surprised, like those conversations usually start with the bully's like, I hate you. Why am I here? I don't want to be here. And then with time and compassion, they open up and they explain their pain. And usually it's abuse. Usually it's some type of abuse. And when there is silence, when the young kid or the young adolescent has not had a platform to talk about it, it gets internalized and they have to pay it forward, unfortunately, because then that makes me feel, oh, I'm not the only one with pain. There's someone else with pain. But we need to pull people up with the pain and we need to show them compassion and to give them a platform to heal. That's a beautiful message, Michelle. And it's really, really nice. And I think that all your experiences have made you this very compassionate person. And you know, in the red carpet, usually everyone wants to be shiny and beautiful, and wonderful.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nice. It's a nice expression of being human, right?
Yes.
And we need to say also here as a parenthesis that humans even 5,000 years ago, the ancient Greeks and the ancient Egyptians, it was all about beauty. They didn't have their fundamental needs met, but beauty was above everything. But apart from all that, you do bring compassion and ethos and morals on the red carpet. And I think that this is one of the reasons that you're so successful.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And the present is very nice. You are experiencing bliss and you're just about to launch your new fashion line. What does Michelle really want about the future?
Wow.
How does the future look like?
You're right. Well, I see the future being a lot of world travel. I really love to be in different places and experience different culture, different food, different environments. I remember when I went to Europe for the first time, I was so enamored with the fact that in Europe, the food was so fresh that they did not do what they do here in the United States. They didn't allow chemical companies to poison food. And that's what we do, unfortunately, here in this country. And there, they did not do that. The food was so fresh. The people were healthier and friendlier,
Leaner.
leaner. They walked a lot. They just, and they having time in the day. They would spend time having conversations over coffee or tea, lunch. They extended that time. And I feel like that was a big difference between here and there, that we're this culture in the United States is a rush culture. Rush, 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 quick lunch, eat your food, get back to work, but there it was like, no, let's take our time. Let's have a conversation. Let's enjoy our food, and I think that's a very something that I took from there back home, and I was like, I'm gonna start, having lunches like that where I'm having conversations and I'm not rushing to eat and I'm cooking food. If I have to go to the farmer's market and pay a little bit more, I'd rather do that than buy food that is not good for me.
That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I come from Europe and oh my God, salads, they just taste differently and all they have is fresh ingredients, tomatoes, cucumbers, some olives and olive oil, oregano and salt. And that's it. But it's the ingredients, but it's also I feel that they're prepared with love.
Mm-hmm.
By most people, I cannot say that everyone prepares food with the same sentiment.
Right.
But we have in Europe a different pace of life in the big cities. I come from Athens.
Mm-hmm.
There is a faster pace, but not as fast as in the US. And I'm very new here. I cannot pretend that I know everything. It's just my impressions for 3 years. But we do pay attention to relationships. So I find that in LA, people work so hard and there isn't a lot of support from families because sometimes families don't live close by. You could be living in LA and your parents are in Boston, so it's very difficult to offer help with cooking or childcare from so far away. And then neighbors are not as loving and connected. But in Europe, you can just knock on the door of your neighbor and say, "Hey, I don't have anyone to pick up my kid today from school. Is that possible?" And they love it. And especially the older people who are semi-retired or retired, they embrace other people's kids in their homes. And for them, it's an opportunity to relive motherhood and fatherhood again. So that support creates a nervous system that is not stretched to its limits. It creates more trust, it creates more love. And when we feel safe and supported, we can create. We can create loving relationships, we can create beautiful projects, we can create a fashion line, we can be better at work. And I want to go back to what you said that, you're now taking time for lunch, and in Europe, people will take lunch and they will talk, and it's okay if they're 15 minutes later, 20 minutes late. But because you connect with your colleagues, you create this heart-to-heart relationship. You get to understand your colleague. Sometimes a work problem is resolved right there and then at lunch, but also you bring this more deeply woven relationship to the meeting room, and that changes the dynamic. The biggest secret of well-run, successful organizations is people.
Yes.
Do people get along? So we need to bring this culture back. How do you feel about becoming an agent of this change at your workplace?
I embrace it. I feel like it's almost my duty to be an agent of change, to help people to find understanding. And what else can I say about that? Being a good example, setting a good example.
So maybe inviting people to lunch and having deeper or more joyful conversations, or have heart-to-heart moments, asking what is happening in their life, what they're struggling with. Yeah, that would be nice. Because sometimes there is this culture of fear, everyone is worried about their position, and instead of helping each other up, we are sometimes thinking, I have an opportunity to put you down, so I'll put you down. And we don't realize that we're poisoning the well we're drinking water from. It's the same culture that will come back to you when you need Michelle's support or my support. Okay, so we have an ambassador of change.
Yes.
Michelle Renee will start creating a different environment, and it's contagious, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to ask you one more thing. It's a controversial topic, not for me because I'm all about spirituality and I'm a spiritual psychotherapist, but I know you're spiritual.
Very much so.
I know that you're hearing, your voice, your soul talking to you and your spirit talking to you.
Yes.
What can you share with us about that? How has that guided you in your life? And
guided me all the way. all the way when I listen to my intuition, which comes from the divine, I do the right thing. When I don't listen, that's when I get into trouble.
Exactly. And I was like, we're thinking, oh no, that's silly me. It
Mhm.
cannot happen. It cannot be the way. My logic tells me that, of course, I have to be hired by this company.
Mhm.
And then you go there and everything turns from bad to worse
Yes.
until you have to leave. And that inner voice was like, but I told you.
I told you those were not the people you were supposed to work with. That was not the environment for you.
No.
And they're in this industry and the entertainment industry, it can be very, very challenging. There are lots of personalities. There are people who have high egos. Yes, you can find that in other industries, but it's a very, very large amount of people with high egos in the entertainment industry, film, television, radio, media, across the board. There are people who, there's a lot of disrespect that you find. There are people who are looked down upon and disrespected, um, and then others that are striving, to get to the top, and they're willing to do anything to get to the top, willing to step all over people. They're willing to lie and cheat and hurt others, personally. But then there's people who are like, I'm a creative. I just want to create great things. I want to work in a team.
Yeah.
There's teams involved as well. So it's kind of a mix of all of that, but there's good and bad, and I don't even know where I'm going with that, but
I'm hopeful that the culture is changing.
Mhm.
I'm hopeful because people with big egos are being exposed.
I think
So when you are in the public eye and when you have creative persona around you, and if you're driven by your ego, it is very likely that you're gonna make mistakes because love, compassion, and care for others is not driving you.
Mhm.
And we have lately seen a story in the media. We don't know how it's going to end, and I have no way. I'm talking about Blake Lively
Yes.
and her co-star, and I don't know what has happened, but I know that both their stories cannot be true.
Right.
And if it is driven by someone's ego, they are gonna fall on their sword, and things don't look so good at this point. But I'm giving everyone the benefit of doubt. We will see. I believe in justice. I have a lot of faith, and I believe that the truth is gonna shine. But I just wanna give the psychological perspective of egos. If I'm driven by my ego and all I care about is my public image,
Yes.
that means that I have a lot of fear. So egos are driven by fear, and the fear is that I'm not going to be magnanimous, that I'm not going to be seen, I'm not going to be recognized. However, when I have a real relationship with me, when I know my true personality, then I'm not worried about my ego. And in certain cases, someone else is doing better than me, and that's wonderful, and I should be happy for them and with them. And there's going to be another time that my skills and what I carry inside my soul and my mind will shine, will be necessary, will be what is needed, and that will be my time to be seen and recognized. So if people in this industry are listening, just do some soul searching, identify yourself, create your own identity, and know that other people don't need to agree with you. They don't need to see you. As long as you're seeing yourself, you will attract the right people that will definitely see you. In closing, I want to say that I feel that this is one of your strengths. You truly knew yourself since you were tiny, 5 on your parents' bed, so happy and proud of you. And although you've met some people who tried to dim your light, you didn't let them. But I know you, I know how you are, and you don't get angry with them. Or you might have a few months like, wow, why do you have to do this? But then it's like, I love you. I just don't want to be part of your path anymore. So I wish you all the best, and I'm going to go on my merry way and find the right people for me. And I think that this is the reason you are so successful and so loved in your industry. And I believe that these are the ingredients that are going to take you to greater heights. And I can't wait to see you grow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and allowing us to see who you really are honestly and with great bravery. Thank you, Michelle Renee.
Thank you, Maria. I just truly appreciate you. And thank you for wanting to talk today and allowing me to share my story.
Of course. I'm always here for you. Please tune in for our next episode. We're going to have an amazing guest like Michelle Renee. Bye from us.